Hello, my name is Marjan Faridouni. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Expo 2020 Dubai. The Vision Pavilion is based on His Highness's book, My Story, 50 Stories in 50 Years. And the idea of the Vision Pavilion is that it is a gift from the Expo 2020 Dubai family, the people who've worked on Expo, to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed in appreciation of his continuous vision and his support, of which without we could not have achieved what we see today at Expo 2020. There are many inspirations to the way this pavilion was designed. One key element of inspiration was the city of Dubai and the people who were part of the growth of the city over the past years. So for example, when you see the building from the outside, it's covered in this stone that's beige and it has some metal. The stone represents the sand of the Emirate of Dubai, and the metal represents the growth and the development that the city has been going through over the years. An interesting fact about the design from the outside is that it has been inspired by the creek, the Dubai Creek, which has been fundamental in growing the city socially and economically. And from the inside also, we've used elements of the city of Dubai to inspire what we have done inside. Particularly in the first gallery, it's the gallery that we've called of learning and discovery. In this gallery, we introduce the visitors to His Highness's childhood, and we specifically talk about his childhood the way that he spoke about it in his book, in the chapter where he talks about sleeping with the scorpions. So there is an animation which is part of the show in the first gallery, which takes the visitor to the time that His Highness spent in the desert when he was around 8 to 9 years old. And he spent it with a member of the Manasir tribe. And in those days that he spent in the desert, he learned a lot about the environment of the desert, the species in the desert, how to live with them, how to hunt, but also how to read the stars. So the visitors get to see His Highness's, or get to see an insight into His Highness's childhood in this first gallery. So the little cave is a continuation to the first gallery, where we've explored His Highness's childhood and his appreciation for the desert and nature. In the second gallery, we get introduced to His Highness's being an explorer, being a curious person. So when he was very young, he had a special place in the Za'bil Palace, where he actually had specimens of animals that he collected. He also tried to nurse animals in this little cave. So what we did is we recreated a lot of those species that His Highness specifically talks to you about in his book. So you will see recreated scorpions, recreated butterflies, bugs, and you'll also see animation videos of sketches in a book, because His Highness, when he talked about his love for nature and his curiosity to explore nature more, he had these books that he would actually sketch in to write his notes, to reflect on. So we tried to reflect that in the second gallery. In the second gallery, we wanted to introduce the visitors to His Highness's passion of horses, in addition to his passion for poetry. We also wanted to highlight the key values that basically His Highness works with throughout his whole life and that he talks about. So the first thing when you visit that gallery is you are faced by this 5.5 meter sculpture that's 52 tons, made out of marble, and it is a sculpture of a horse. And a lot of people, when they see this horse, they ask, who is this horse? And the horse is one of His Highness's favorite horses that he mentions in his book, My Story, Millennium, who's a very famous racing horse, and who one of his most important races was the one that he won at the Dubai World Cup. So this gallery takes you through, again, a show, and this show goes through a journey, and one of the journeys includes certain elements of Dubai, but more importantly, it addresses the importance of overcoming challenges, which His Highness has always spoke about, how challenges are opportunities for us to learn. And that if we are able to take challenges as learning opportunities, we are able to overcome and continue to grow. And this is how the city of Dubai has been growing over the years, based on these beliefs and based on the values of discipline, determination, trust. So the visitor will get to see that through this show, and it ends with a beautiful ending of the millennium crossing the finish line, and the joy that it has brought to His Highness and the remainder of Dubai. Room that talks about pearl diving is based on a chapter that His Highness spoke about in his book of the time that he actually spent with pearl divers at the sea. His father, Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed, encouraged him to spend some time with the divers, and through that experience, His Highness understood the difficulties that the diver underwent in order to pearl dive, which was basically in the past the cornerstone of the Dubai economy. So we wanted visitors to feel that and to understand that patience, determination, perseverance have been really what was key in driving the vision of the city of Dubai. And this is what His Highness has been talking about in his book, My Story. The final experience for the journey is titled as The Journey Continues. And in this gallery, you get introduced to people, around 20 individuals who have been interviewed. These individuals have been residents of the city of Dubai for many years, and they are older people and younger people combined, and they talk about their experience in the city of Dubai. In addition to listening to stories of people who lived in the city, the visitor will also go through this show that takes you through the journey of the city. So it starts with how the city of Dubai started, how pearl diving was one of the most important generators of the economy. But then it goes through the history of how the city of Dubai has evolved over the years. And you see that through this table that has a beautiful show, but you also listen to the stories of the people who talk about how the city has developed over the years. And one of the key messages in this gallery is that the city of Dubai continues to grow, continues to be anchored by the vision of His Highness and his father and his grandfather, and that we will expect that we continue to develop as a city of Dubai because it's based on the strong vision and the strong foundations of the values that they have seen in the previous galleries.